Hi, welcome to Pagan Goddess Tarot, and today I'm switching things up. I decided to use the Druid Craft Tarot and go back to my roots, okay? And this is the box, the picture of the box, okay? And this is Philip and Stephanie Carr Gom, and it's illustrated by Will Worthington. Okay, and I'm going to, I made some marks in the book so we can go back and refer. I'm going to do the regular reading, of course. But as I do that, I'm going to pop open the book because they have several quotes. It's like the meaning of the card. And I just feel the need to change things up. So I pre-did them so I could mark the cards. So you even have to wait for me to be looking through the book. I don't normally use the book, but they have the quotes in here, the messages in here are really different than in most. Most. That's all I can say. So we started off with the lady. First of all, I want to say you have, out of all of these cards, 3 of them are minor arcana, which deals with everyday life. The rest are spiritual. They're the higher arcana. I mean, you have like 10 cards up here. And 7 of them are the major arcana. So this is an extremely powerful reading. And that's another reason I wanted to delve into the messages. Okay? So just bear with me. I mean, we're not going to do this all the time, but bear with me. It'll be worth it today. Okay, and your first card is the lady. All right, and that's abundance. This is abundance. This is goddess-like abundance. This is what comes from the goddess, okay? So it's fertility. It's abundance. I'm reading this out of the book now. Passion, creativity, sensuality, nurturing, motherhood, beauty, happiness, and healing. And the way I see this particular card is she's the goddess. She's the goddess of the harvest. She's the goddess of the cauldron. Okay? She's Mother Earth. She's Gaia. Okay? And that's representing you at this moment. Now, you may not see that, but that is where you are. And the message of the lady is, and again, I'm reading this out of the book, open yourself to the fertile, nurturing power of the goddess. The power will fill you with passion and the ability to be creative and to enjoy life, a life of abundance and sensual delight. Okay? This is crossed by the sun. Okay? And this is your challenge because you're, from what I see of the overall reading, I think you are in or about to be in a relationship that you aren't sure. Some of these relationships can be so passionate that you don't trust it because of past experiences. Okay? So, let me find that one. I mean, the Sun card is ultimate happiness. So, this is me reading it now. This is ultimate happiness. Look at the joy. It's like childlike joy and innocence. Okay? Naked. The harp. The harp is there. You know? It's that natural state of joy. When you don't have any ego issues like, oh, I can't do this. Oh, what if somebody sees me? You don't have any of that, okay? So you are representing as abundance and love and fertility. Okay, be careful now though. This is going to be an extremely fertile time. So if you want children, this would be a good time to try. All right. So the sun, happiness, contentment, success, energy, wonder, lucidity, optimism, joy, freedom, fruition, and creative expression. Okay, when I'm going down through that, I'm reading this out of the book because I don't want to have to stop and say that every time that we do this. Okay, and the message of the sun is you are free to express the radiant essence of your being. Joy and creation flow from you like rays of the sun. Okay, and you're not quite at that. And I think it's because of this Five of Cups energy that you dealt with in the past. But whatever it is that you're doing, you have changed the wheel in your favor. Okay? You you've done something, and it's going to bring in probably this happiness that you're seeking. Because up here we have a lot of options, all right? So, when you start changing the wheel, you have free will, okay? And you can stay stagnant or you can heal and move on. When we come into these types of situations, um, it's to we have to learn to release. Okay, you learn the lessons, and then you move on. It's just a karmic cycle. It sounds very trite, and I mean, I've been through some really brutal ones. The dark night of the soul is no joke, and but that is the truth. And when you go through these things, though, when karma works different ways. Karma will reward you for having learned lessons and moving forward by opening a new cycle for you. And that's what it looks like you're trying to do here. So with the wheel, okay, we have reaping rewards, synchronicity, harvest, prosperity, inevitability, progress, completion, and the beginning of a cycle. And I think that's where you're at right now, is you're just completing a cycle. This is so powerful. Okay, and we have the Five of Cups in your past energy. Now, me reading this is that you were stuck in a grieving process. Grieving is no joke, and I'm not dismissing the process, but sometimes we tend to linger in it too long. I've seen people linger in grief for decades. Okay, and it's because they can't detach and they didn't learn the lesson is to feel it, heal it, and let it go. Okay, and um, you know, and that is quite what it's saying. It's telling you you're missing the blessings because you can't turn away from the grief. Okay, there's so many options available to you up here. Okay, so many that you're going to have to stop and think about it. But here, it doesn't show it, but there's a castle in other decks. And you're meant to go to the castle. The castle's where the Ten of Pentacles is. And that's where you're supposed to move forward to. And the two cups that remain are probably what you need to get there. Maybe the tolls, because you have to cross a bridge to get over there. But you can't see it because you won't look up. And that was your past, okay? So, sense of loss, unrecognized opportunity, and inheritance, okay? And it feels like something's been taken away from you, okay? And I am reading this out of the book. Against your wishes, and you're filled with grief and despair as a result. All right? And I'm not going to read the entire thing because this thing will be 100 miles long. But my point is, when you feel this way, and it's valid, don't get me wrong. It's just that you have to learn how to release it. Because when you do, what's crowning you here is you have a lot of options. This is literally having so many options, which can sometimes be confusing. But you're not even seeing the options at this point. Or you weren't at that point, I should say. All right. And that's a hard place to be. And hopefully you opened up and you're coming out of it. hopefully you can see these options, because the Seven of Cups, it's seduction, illusion, the Grail quest. Okay? And again, I'm reading that out of the book. I don't want any copyright issues. I'm reading it out of the book. But I'm trying to give it to you the way they do these cards, so that you get the meaning that their intent was. That's the whole idea. This is honoring the authors and the illustrators of this deck. Okay, now we have the Hanged Man. All right. And that you now, and once you notice that you have all of these, once you have all of these options, then you have to take the time to decide. You need to see things from a different perspective. You definitely need to see things differently than from this perspective, okay? It's about taking time out to think about things, to make decisions in a valid manner. Don't just make snap decisions. Sometimes we have to make a decision on the run. Those are usually not, it's not optimal. You know, you should be taking time to think about things. You know, you have to take time to think about these things. You know, it's how you change your life. It's how you change your outlook on life. Okay. And I'm reading this from the book as well. Reversal of values or attitudes, patience, surrender or sacrifice, deepening of experience, peace, and independence. And the message of the Hanged Man is to go deeper now and let go of your striving. True freedom and independence is found through surrender. Okay. So surrender to the moment and let this go. Surrender to the idea that the past is gone and don't live in the past, you know. And we have the High Priestess here. She is the keeper of the secrets. That's the Book of Secrets. She has the knowledge. She is the woman of the night. She's the keeper of the gate. She's the keeper of the gateway between this realm and the spiritual realm. She's the keeper of the veil. Okay? And she is very powerful. Whoops. There we go. Sorry. Having trouble getting there. And I won't be doing readings by coming out of the book. I'm just going to do this series while I'm doing the book. It's like I said, it's just a nod, a salute to the people that wrote this book. So it's depth, it's intuition, dreams, inner wisdom, gateway to initiation, the unconscious, the divine feminine. Okay? This is following that deep inner knowing. Okay? And the message, again, reading it out of the book, present yourself before the mysteries of life and before the goddess or her priestess in humility and with reverence, open to the stillness and depths within you to gain strength and wisdom. Okay? Like I said, these come into a lot deeper meaning than most cards. I'll continue to use the cards later, but I won't be reading out the book after that. Serranos, okay? So, I mean, you have the ability to have all this abundance. What's eluding you is your happiness, okay? And so, your environment, you have the opportunity for love, okay? You have, or passion. Remember, you know, the lady is very passionate and very fertile. So if you want children, this is a good time to try. This is passion. This is, but the cautionary tale here is not to allow it to chain you. It's also temptation. It can become temptation, and passion can become very toxic very quickly if you don't if you don't take care. Okay, so but it also means potential for abundance and liberation, mastery of life force, awakening responsibility, obsession and materialism. Okay, and Serranos. The message of Serranos is the dragon of Nufri awakens powerfully within you. Great progress is possible, but take care to integrate and channel this force. Okay, and like I said, you have to be cautious with it because it's extremely powerful. But again, we have passion and creativity all over this reading. And with your hopes and fears, I'm going with this as your fear. You're afraid that you're going to get hurt again. You're not wanting to release the past pain, so that you don't have yourself in this position where you can get hurt again. Okay, and then we're gonna go. Oops, the threes. It's back here. Sorry. Again, I won't be reading too much out of the book very often. The Three of Swords. Heartache, potential for transformation, and wisdom from suffering. You know, this did not go unwarranted. That's the wisdom that you learn from learning the lessons. Now you know how to proceed. So it's not so much that you have to worry about being hurt again. What it is that rather than being worried about, you start seeing red flags. When you meet somebody, you start... I just went through this with a friend. It's easy to get enthralled, and because of the attraction and the passion, but don't miss those red flags if they're there. But don't put them where they aren't. Is part of that. Okay, and then we have the High Priest. Oops. Oop, he's this way. Like I said, sorry about this, but I just felt drawn to do this, and I'm not sure why, and I don't know where. Oh, that's the High Priest. This is kind of like the Hierophant in the Rider White. So, the High Priest is tradition, education, religious doctrines, searching for inner meaning, routine, conformity, counsel, and initiation. Okay, this is about learning. This can be about going to college. This can be about learning. This can be learning, being a druid. These people are actually, I mean, well, I'm not sure, let me restate that. I'm not sure that the writers of the book are actually druids, but they are very well versed in Druidic tradition. This is a case of let's see, how do I put this? Okay, if you were in a Native American tribe, or part of one, and you have spiritual gifts, you would probably train to be a shaman. You guys don't turn into one. I mean, you can, but there's teachings. There's teachings of the people. There's teachings of the traditions. They're teaching you. You better know what herbs and stuff you're using. Same with medicine women. Same with the healers. Okay, this takes higher education, and sometimes they take a lifetime to learn. Okay, but in Druidic tradition, it takes 20 years, and the original Druids were advisors to kings, queens, leaders. They were well versed in a lot of areas, and it takes a long time. It's a high spiritual calling, and so you may be having that high spiritual calling, but it doesn't have to be about Oh, let's see. What am I trying to say? It doesn't mean you have to go to school. It means you have to learn. Okay? You have to learn. And you're in the process of it, because that's your future. You are learning. You're learning how to be spiritual. You're learning how to handle things. Okay? And the message of the high priest is there is value in discipline and routine to maintain the connection between your spiritual and your worldly life, tradition, ceremony, initiation, spiritual teachings, and practice. All these help you remain in touch with your spiritual, with the spiritual within yourself and within the world around you. Okay? So, like I said, this reading is about you coming out of this energy. Learning to release this energy so that you can embrace this energy. Okay? And this is, like I said, it's 7 to 3. It's an extremely powerful reading. And, you've learned the lesson. You know what, you will recognize the red flags that you missed the first time. And sometimes it's not always red flags, It took me a long time after someone passed away to let anybody in my life. And that was why, because I was afraid of getting hurt. Okay? So, whatever this is, you're in a very passionate and creative mode. You need to jump on this because, again, the astrology in the next year is extremely powerful. So if you are trying to create something, this is definitely the time to do it. Okay? But don't be afraid of the passion. Just learn how to control it. Okay? Don't let it become an obsession. And you're thinking. You're deciding which route you want to go. All right? And that's what it's telling you. Just stay in touch with your spirituality. Okay? And you're going to grow and expand and become extremely fertile if you're not already. And when I say fertile, that doesn't mean just children. I mean, she is the goddess. She is the goddess. Okay? So, that's what I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, I won't be reading. I'm only going to do that once. It's just I wanted to honor their interpretation of these cards. And I'm going to run a series. I'm going to run the zodiac signs with these cards this time, and then let me know in the comments whether you like this change or if you want to go back to the old routine. Or I'm going to try and mix things up, though. So I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.